Joining us, the head coach of the Cavaliers, Jamie Cluesman. Coach, thanks for coming in and speaking with us a little bit about the upcoming season. What we'll just let you make an opening statement on your thoughts on how things are progressing to this point, and then we'll open it up to the media for questions. And since we're doing this on Zoom, media members, if you could, we'll just try to take turns with each other, asking questions back and forth. But, Coach, we'll open it up to you, just your thoughts on preseason to this point.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me. Just a little bit about preseason. We return a lot of key players from last year. So those 3 players have a lot of pressure on them. But, I think they're stepping up to the plate. We have 6 new freshmen. So, again, we're still a work in progress. As long as we're progressing daily, then, as a coach, you have to be happy with that. So a lot of new faces. But like I said, we still have a lot of returners. I feel that this year we have a lot more depth. We can go deeper into the rotation, which I think in return will help, like, with our longer season. Our season is longer than any other sport. So if we can, conserve a few minutes here and there for some of our players to get deeper into our bench, then that may help us down the stretch.
Coach, if you would just talk about some of those specific players.
Oh, yeah. So Caitlyn Ross, returning for her 3rd year, has been all-conference player her 2 previous years. I imagine she's going to try to make even more noise in the conference this year and potentially be, one of the top candidates for player of the year. But she's a true point guard. She's a leader. We go as Caitlyn goes. She's the heartbeat of our team. So if she plays well, we typically play well. We feed off of her. Then Kaylee Johnson, came back for an extra year that the NCAA granted her. So, had a monster year last year, led us in scoring and rebounding, almost averaged a double-double for us. So we're excited that she decided to join us again. Imagine her playing the same role that she did last year, just kind of being that hard matchup with other teams. If they put someone bigger and slower on her, we'll take her out onto the perimeter. If they put someone smaller, we'll move her down into the post area. So she's a very versatile player when it comes to matchups. And then Nia Van Zant, she's just a gamer. If you were to sit and watch practice, you'd be like, there's no way that she's an all-conference player. But, when the lights turn on, she's ready to go. Very explosive, can score in a variety of ways. I've never seen someone able to stop on a dime like she can. But, she brings a lot of intensity on the defensive end as well. So, looking forward to her. I think she's going to come out and try to make a statement this year and hopefully be a first-teamer for us.
Coach, talk a little bit about your new folks, too. We've got, like you said, quite a few freshmen and then your transfer, Jamie Golden. So talk to us a little bit about the new guys.
Yeah, so with Jamie being a transfer, she came to us from Queens. She's a versatile player, can score in all 3 areas. Very, very strong with her left hand, has a very good step back 3. She can create space for herself, and she's also a playmaker for us. She can get downhill. She's kind of trying to fill the shoes of Hannah Oliver from last year. I think she can definitely score a lot better than Hannah can. She's not as consistent of a shooter. But Jamie's a competitor. She's going to do whatever it takes for her team to win. You'll notice, too, she gets very excited on the bench. A lot of times I have to tell her to kind of sit down. But, she plays with a lot of energy, a lot of passion. So looking forward to getting her into that rotation this year. And then with our 6 freshmen, they're freshmen. But they kind of came in. They're starting to learn the ropes a little bit. They're starting to understand our offensive and defensive principles. But Sable Burnside, definitely one of the most athletic players I've coached in a long time. She's a monster on the boards, very explosive getting to the rim. We got to work on her consistency with like mid-range and outside shot, but she's just an overall great player, great person as well. You have Alexis Warren, a post player from Richmond, Virginia, can come in and stand her ground. She's super strong in the post, has some good post moves. She can even, attack from like 15 feet out. So the thing with her, she's playing behind a lot of upperclassmen in the post, and with the style of play that we play, I'm not sure, like, minute-wise, like, what that will be like, but she's came in, she's worked extremely hard, and she's going to continue to work for those minutes. You got Josie Hester out of North Carolina, pure shooter, led the state of North Carolina in scoring, can come in. I mean, she's got deep range. She's got a very quick release. Chloe France from West Virginia, she is our firecracker. You know, she can cause a lot of ruckus on the defensive end. She's not going to back down from anyone. One of the toughest kids we have on the team. Caitlyn Berger from Tennessee. She's a versatile player as well, kind of like Kaylee Johnson, can play inside, can play out for us. But her basketball IQ is very high. She's kind of picked up on our system a little bit faster than the others. So, you know, that's a bright side to her game. And then our last one is Deontay Tornita. She's from Cherokee, North Carolina. One of the purest mid-range shooters that I've coached probably in the last 7 years. You know, she's a threat from deep range as well, but her court vision is kind of what separates her from the others. So she can be a point guard, she can be a two guard for us, but, you know, can score in a variety of ways as well. But like I said, her court vision, she's fun to coach.
Just talk about some of your, you mentioned the depth, but I mean, and I'm not going to ask you to throw a starting five out there, but I mean, just some of that depth, who's going to contribute to you guys, at least going into the season that you're looking at, other than I know you mentioned the first three there, but.
Yeah, I mean, we returned 6'3" Meg Crawford. You know, started out very strong for us last year. She's been very consistent for us this year, but I think the biggest improvement to her game is on the defensive end. She's been able to be more of a help player rather than just when her man has a ball. So she's definitely been more of a shot blocking presence in practice. You have Mackenzie King, who can come in a blink of an eye, put up 12, 15 points just like that. You know, pure shooter, very strong. Again, not overly quick, but she makes up for it with her basketball IQ. Then you have Leah Kessner as well. Can come in and play in the post. Leah is just a hard worker. She's going to do everything that she can to help the team do whatever it takes to win. But one of the most exciting pieces is Peyton Sams. You know, true point guard, definitely understands the game. And I always say she can see a play happen before it happens. You know, it's the thing that caught my eye when we were first recruiting her was her court vision, and being a point guard and seeing a true point guard out there, I knew I needed to have her in my system. But also with Peyton, she has a lot of length, so she can guard a lot of variety of players on the court. So excited to get more minutes for her this season.
Coach, talk about playing in the SAC. I mean, we know that that's always going to be complicated. I don't imagine it's going to get any easier for you guys this year. So just kind of talk a little bit about what you guys intend to do.
We just intend to go in and take care of ourselves. You know, we can't necessarily control what other teams do, but a lot of times matchups height-wise is, you know, a disadvantage for us. A lot of these teams can bring in Division I transfers. Could we do that? Yes, but we would only have them for like maybe a year just because we don't have grad programs. So it's really hard for us to take transfers who are, you know, that deep into their education. So we face a lot of those bigger players who have been in Division I programs for, you know, 3 years or so. But the SAC, it's a tough conference from top to bottom, very physical. But again, I feel like we kind of surprised a few people even within our first year and then last year. So we're just trying to build onto the momentum from last season and just hopefully continue that into the season this year.
Yeah, you talked about last year and the year before even, but you guys have been successful to some degree. You're not going to be able to actually sneak up on anybody this year, I would assume.
No, definitely not. But, you know, it puts a little bit more pressure on our shoulders this year. But, you know, I feel like our players are up for the challenge. It will be excited to see what the preseason rankings say and hopefully gain some confidence and maybe even some motivation from that. So, you know, as soon as the ball's in the air, it's anybody's game. You know, like I said, top to bottom, it's tough, but we'll put our best foot forward each night.
Coach, I'll ask you this. Talk about the schedule early. You go to Florida. You go to South Carolina 3 times before Christmas. You have to make a trip, an overnight trip to Catawba. Perennially pretty good in this league. Talk about the schedule, especially early, and the overnight trips that you all face before Christmas.
Yeah, it's a tough first semester schedule, but, if we want to be successful, then we can't look at that and, make excuses for ourselves. A lot of people probably think I'm crazy going to Florida, but, it's about the student-athlete experience as well. So we're trying to, give them certain experiences that they may not have had before or may not ever have. So, we're big into creating those and, having more of a family atmosphere. So, yes, we'll go on the road for 9 hours, play 2 games, get back on the road 9 hours, and go straight into conference play. But, to be at the top, you've got to just be prepared for whatever it is. We can't control the conference schedule, so you just roll with it. So it'll be tough, but, we'll find ways to hopefully combat some of the, slow, heavy legs from all the traveling. But, we have a great athletic trainer in Dana, so she'll find ways to help us get through that as well.
Now, I guess a follow-up to that, you're also playing non-conference games against Concord, a really good program. They've got a lot of kids back. And then King, who's traditionally pretty good in Conference Carolinas as well. So overall, a pretty tough non-conference schedule.
Yeah, with Concord, they have All-American and Riley Fitzwater, 6'4", almost nearly impossible to guard, but, you can't let one player beat you. So, we'll focus more so on the pieces around her. I know she's going to get her points. She's going to get her rebounds. But, again, you want to play a tough non-conference schedule, especially if you think back to last year, we were on the brink of making the NCAA tournament. So, I like playing the tougher opponents to hopefully maybe if we're borderline getting in or not, that can help us, make that top 8 team our playoff seed. So with King, they have a new coach this year. So not sure what kind of system he's going to run, but like you said, they've always been successful in Conference Carolina. So we'll have to do a lot of scouting and preparing for that just because new coach, probably going to be a brand new system. But
Good deal for me. Thank you, Coach.
thank you.
Yeah, that's everything I need. Thank you so much, Coach.
I appreciate you guys.
Thanks, everybody.